Hello and welcome to another episode of ZED Talks Leaguecast Fixes Champions. This week we will be talking about, let me find the list, Nami, Nasus, Nautilus, Nico, Nidalee, Nocturne, Nunu, and Willump. I guess Nunu and Willump's one character. I said it like they're two. Anyways, joining me this week is just Nick the King Cooper.
Yo.
Hey man, how's it going?
It's all right.
Cool. You want to jump into it and talk about some Nami?
Yeah.
My favorite One Piece character.
Nice.
I got that, dude. The One Piece guy who listens to our show will be really happy.
I feel like Nami's actually in a pretty good spot.
I think she's the best, one of the best on this list, as in like how she currently functions.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't know. I think they've done a good job, like over the past few years of bringing her healing into check, and that's really the only thing that I have thought was a problem before. So I don't know. I don't think there's anything I would really change about Nami.
I would amplify some things about her like how I would look about it, because I don't think she needs any changing. I like how all of her abilities function. I like how her character works. I like that she's an enchanter but has kind of like a pick potential. She's like kind of a pick enchanter, I would say.
Yeah,
you don't really peel as much as you do like go for like cool bubble plays and ults and stuff like that. What I want to see amplified on her is how her movement speed passive works with all of her abilities. I would love that like dialed up to 11, honestly. I feel like there's not enough times where you ult and your team runs through the ult and gets movement speed, like to like kind of engage, kind of like a pseudo Sivir ult, and I feel like that would be a strong. I wish that was a stronger mechanic in her kit.
Yeah, that makes sense. It does feel kind of like weird that it's just movement speed.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe so. The alternative is what? Maybe we put her E on. Maybe we put the E on the passive. So instead of move speed,
is her damage amp thingy.
Yeah, the damage amp and slow. So maybe like tone down the slow, tone down the damage, obviously, but maybe change that around. Any allies affected by her, by any of her spells, deal a little bit of extra damage, once, and then slow, a tiny amount as well.
Yeah, that'd be a cool way of doing it. I just think it's a very cool part of her kit that really is only used when you're healing people, because like that's how you're just hitting them with abilities. You don't really like. There's never a situation where you bubble your ally.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, if that was like a little bit stronger, though, I definitely could see situations where like you're lagging behind your AD carry and you bubble them so they get movement speed, they run forward faster.
Yeah, that'd be super cool.
Yeah, because right now it's 45 plus 20% AP. So maybe like if they just made it like a little bit more like flat, or they made it scale a little bit differently. Like even if they just made it scale with like level or something, that'd be a way of doing it. But it's cool. I really do like that mechanic. I just don't think it's super utilized right now. So
yeah.
Other than that, I think she's a really cool character. I think her kit flows together really well. Has some ebb and flow to it. You know
absolutely. What I mean? I think the character is like really well designed and allows for super awesome plays to be made. She can absolutely like 1v9 if you hit everything.
Yeah, she'll always be like kind of meta, like for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Want to talk about Nasus?
Yeah, I'd love to talk about Nasus. This is gonna be a tough one.
Broken. Like not OP, but like just a broken character because he's old, I guess is the way.
Yeah. He's a relic of his time. I think unfortunately the Q stacking has to stay based on just the character's identity.
I wish it didn't have to.
I wish it didn't have to also. But I just don't see a viable way for it to remain, I suppose.
If they were to remove it, they would have to give him the fucking coolest Q in the game.
Yeah.
Something that's so cool that you go, oh yeah, I forgot that he used to stack, like, and just sit there and stack forever. Because I don't think it's a good part of the game is like the stacking mechanic, but I think unless you're replacing it with something like that's so fucking insane that it's just not gonna leave him ever.
Yeah, and it's like what can you replace that isn't more broken, I suppose, than that than the Q stacking already is. Yeah. I don't know, it's tough. I think Wither obviously has to go.
Wither's not good for the game.
Yeah, I think maybe you could incorporate it. This is going to sound really cancer, but maybe a very toned down version of Wither as an AoE spell.
Around his ultimate?
Yeah, I was thinking like around that. I think it would stay attached to his W, but have like much lower duration, much lower like impact, but the trade-off it being AoE to sort of incentivize like Nasus to not stay in a side lane and split push, but to team fight as well.
He gets up in the middle of a fight and kind of like just like AoE fucks people.
Yeah, and maybe the impact of it is increased based on number of targets and I don't know, duration. Yeah, I don't know.
I like that idea. I just think he's a very binary character right now. You sit in a side lane, you farm up until you get like 600 stacks, and you can 1v1 any character in the game at that point, but you're still bad. Like, even if Nasus is like 10-0, he could die immediately in a fight. Like, he doesn't kill anyone in a 1v5. Not that like characters should be a character's strength shouldn't be determined on if they can 1v5 when they're fed, but like if you give Camille say 15 kills, she goes in there and 1v5s.
Yeah, exactly.
Kills, she 1v5s. Nasus 15 kills, he gets 0 kills.
He gets
probably.
kited.
Maybe one.
And that's I think that's like why an AoE Wither wouldn't be the worst. He gets kited a little bit less by everyone. I don't know. I think sorry, go ahead.
Regardless, the attack speed still has to go on. I don't think there should be attack speed slows in the game.
No, I don't think so. I don't think there should be attack speed slows either. I think that's really, I'm gonna say it, very unfun to play against. But on a level that's even more like more bad than other things. Like attack speed slows just feel shit, and they shouldn't.
When you're using them, they don't feel super powerful. And when you play against them, they feel like overly powerful. That's exactly like the main problem for me. I would also love to see some changes to his passive. I think the just get lifesteal passive isn't very fun. If he was reworked by Riot, that would just be something that would just be on his Q. Like his Q has that lifesteal. Like his auto attacks wouldn't, but his Q would or something.
Yeah, and I think that'd be 100% fine.
Mm-hmm. And then you could give him a passive like of, I don't know, something related to like, him scaling, right? He is supposed to like scale in the late game. I'd love to have something like else like in that essence in his kit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe something related to like killing minions. Maybe that's where the stacking can come in.
Yeah.
He kills minions. Maybe he gets like he siphons some of their essence, gaining a little bit of whatever stat that we choose to give him.
Every single stat according to Riot in this rework. They'd give him health, they'd give him armor, they'd give him magic resistance.
I mean, I was thinking that, but like
it wouldn't.
It would have to be.
If it was like balanced.
It would have to be a tiny amount. Yeah.
It'd be like 0.1 armor per. Is 0.1 armor per minion still too strong? Because you get 30 at 100. You get 30 at 300, which I think is like that'd be late game, like late game.
Yeah,
that's probably too little then.
That's probably too little. But I actually don't hate it.
I mean, if you gave him like 1 health, like it could even scale like based off like his level. You know what I mean? Like at level like 1, it's like 0.1 armor magic resist.
Yeah.
At level 6, whatever, it's like 2. Mm-hmm. Like it doubles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think that'd be like a bad way of doing it though. It kind of incentivizes the farming, but it doesn't just put it all on him being a 1 queuing monster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
And I think I'd like to see some of the defensive power of his ultimate. I don't like that he gains resistances during his ulti. I don't think there's a really good way to visualize that in the game without... I think Trundle's a good example because he gets big and his target gets small. But I would love to see him gain like tenacity and slow resistance, because I think that
slow resistance would be a really cool one.
Yeah, and I think that would really help the character, kind of like bring up some of his weaknesses, I suppose.
Yeah, I really do think, yeah, like instead of like in trade off for some of the like resistance or health that he gets, instead of just getting tenacity and slow resistance, that'd be like a cool trade off. Because like his main problem is like you can just get kited like late game, like no matter how strong you are.
Yeah, for sure. And even that can be, you know, gated behind scaling up over the duration of the ultimate. Or maybe like siphon some of the tenacity and slow resistance of the people around him. Something like that.
Yeah, that'd be. I love the siphoning aspect of him. Like that's something that needs to be encapsulated in probably more of his kit.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really cool. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, I don't think he's like a perfect character by any means. He's definitely like has some relic elements of him, but I do think he's something who could be cool. Like he has a cool, like him being like this fucking like demigod type character
basically
is, like, cool.
Demigod librarian essentially.
You're making it sound lame with the last word.
Oh, am I? Okay.
Yeah. Just call him the demigod dog.
The demigod dog. Okay.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, I think that's good for Nasus.
Yeah.
Next is Nautilus.
So
I like Nautilus.
I like Nautilus
I think
too.
because I play him.
I think so as well. I think he's in a really good spot. So I don't think I would change a lot about him. One thing that I do wish is that he weren't like relegated to the bot lane solely, like as a support. I would really like to see like top lane or jungle Nautilus, something like that. I think that'd be really cool.
Remember when he's only played jungle like in nearest release?
Yeah.
Back in like what, season 2 and 3 or something like that, I think. He was like his jungle was his best role for sure because he had insane ganks. His clear was good with his AoE.
Yeah.
I think he's just too slow to do that right now.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. They've nerfed a lot of his base damages, which obviously don't help when you are need to clear the jungle as quickly as an Udyr, you know, an Olaf in the current meta, like that sort of thing. So it's going to be really hard to put him in there. Without just making numbers bigger, right?
Yeah, like you'd have to do stuff like changing his passive root into a stun on minions and stuff, because the root makes it so he can still take auto attack damage, which I think actually fucks his jungle clear a lot.
Yeah.
But I think I would like by itself would be a fine change. Just make it so it stuns minions, but it still continues to only root like characters and stuff. But
that'd be cool. Yeah.
Like that alone, like makes clearing like buffs and stuff a lot easier for him.
Yeah, for sure. I even maybe like siphoning the damage from. I'm gonna say siphoning a bunch of times. This
everyone's
this
Nautilus.
But like life stealing the dot damage on his W against minions would help a lot too. But I don't know.
Is a decent amount.
Yeah. It's not a small amount, but it's not a big amount. Are we okay with him being outside of the support role?
I think it's weird because I would say yes because we've seen him there before, but I do think getting ganked by a Nautilus, going Mach 12 with Mobies through the jungle, hitting a Q on you, ulting, autoing is not fun. Yeah,
I think the amount of CC that Nautilus brings is really troublesome to put outside of support and top lane. Or support and top lane.
I think it's way more balanced on top than it is for jungle.
I think so as well. So it's I don't know.
If we want him to lane though, his E has to be stronger. Is like I think where it all comes from, because the reality is he could be a top laner with his passive Q, W, and even ultimate. I think his E just, I mean, it really doesn't do any damage to minions. Like,
yeah, that they've really nerfed the base damage on his E. So
I do like the ability, and I mean I do think it's very easy to fix for lane Nautilus. Maybe they're keeping it this way to not have it though. So it shoots at 3 waves, right? And the getting hit by subsequent waves decreases the damage by 50%, I think. So if like once again minions took the full damage, he probably could just be a top laner right now, I think.
Yeah, I think so as well. I do think that makes his wave clear too strong. I don't know. It's hard because I I like all of his spells, and I don't think they should change. But I can recognize that if his spells did full damage to minions, he would have the safest like wave clear in the game, as we've seen before. Get super tanky, and if he falls behind, still be pretty useful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair. It's just, I don't know if he's like bad for the game to be like a top laner, I guess. Like regardless, I don't think his shield is as gross as it used to be. Maybe this is once again because we see him support and it is a skill with maximum health. So as support, you obviously get less maximum health than you would as a top laner. So maybe that's the reason why I don't think of him as being as toxic for the game.
Yeah.
But I would love to see him top at least, like to try him out.
Yeah, I would too. I would love to see him outside of the bot lane, like I said. I think he's fine in the support role, but I think he's a more interesting character if we don't, make him super squishy and put him in the bot lane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's also, if you guys want a cheese build, he's very good AP as a cheese pick, I think.
Absolutely.
His Q has a 90% ratio. His shield has a 40% ratio on the damage of it. His E has a 30% ratio, I think. And then his ult's like, I think the detonation is like 0.8, but like the other part is like what's it called, like 0.4 or something. So it's like pretty good ratios overall.
Yeah, it's fantastic ratios.
I don't think we want him to be a mage though.
No, I don't think so either. Yeah, I like that little wrinkle's there and that it's not super strong, but it's playable. But I don't know if it's a good thing to keep it that way.
Yeah. I think it's like when you're building, like, a lot of the support items do have like a little bit of AP on them.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's nice picking up like a little bit extra damage for you as you go along in the game, but you shouldn't be building hat ever.
Yeah, I think so as well, for sure.
Yeah, he's a cool character. I'd love to see him in the jungle or top. I don't think you need to change his kit very much. So his kit flows together very well, and it feels very cohesive.
Yeah,
so.
I agree.
Cool. Next is Nico, who I don't think I know enough about as a character to make like a lot of commentary on, but I like her, I guess. I
like her too. I've played a bit of Nico, probably the most of anyone on the podcast. I think she's good. I think she's good. The only aspect about her is I don't like the attack speed on hit Nico.
Yeah.
Because I think I think because it's her only ability, it like is really cheesy, I guess, in that on hit thing. So I don't know. I'd like to see that like not even like removed, but
I mean, it just doesn't fit the rest of her kit. The rest of her kit is about like kind of deceiving people. Okay, like her passive, her E and her R are all like this whole idea of deceiving people and getting in to do damage. Her Q is kind of like just a poke ability, because if she didn't have anything, she just wouldn't be a good character, I think. And then her W, I guess her W is the cloak thingy. Yeah, that's why does it have the on hit on? That makes no sense.
I have no clue. It's like they kind of decided that was that her W needed something else, and that's what they gave her. It was weird. I don't know.
Yeah, it is weird that she also has like this mechanic of so the third auto attack is just not a projectile.
Yeah,
that's a mechanic that it seems like it would be saved for like a attack damage carry type character, but it's on this weird mage character.
Yeah, it is weird. It's
a cool idea. Like imagine an AD carry where like every third auto attack just isn't a projectile. Like that's cool.
Yeah, that'd be really sick. I mean, I don't believe Senna's auto attacks are projectiles, if I'm not mistaken.
I think they are, but they don't feel like they are, because I think you can block them with Windwall.
Oh, okay. I didn't think you could. I don't know.
I could be wrong as well, though. So it sounds like neither of us are very like 100% sure.
Yeah, not 100% for sure. But yeah, I mean, I think Nico's really fair. I guess. I wouldn't mind if her Pop Blossom the Q, I think it is, if it didn't just explode 3 times all the time, I think that would be fine as well.
I just looked it up really quick. Her Q's called Blooming Burst and her ult's Pop Blossom, but yeah.
Oh,
same idea.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
sorry, Blooming
I don't
Burst.
think it needs to explode all those times. But if it feels necessary for her like actual champion damage, I guess.
I'm sorry. I meant I think I would be fine if it always did the 3.
Oh, okay.
Like I don't think that would make her OP at all. So I don't know. I
guess it's like it's probably too much for wave clear is like the main reason why it's gated there.
Maybe, yeah.
Because if it did do that full damage, I mean it's a lot. It's
it is
like at level
yeah.
1 that would be 120 like damage if you like got hit by all 3. Which obviously the whole point is that as
That's
a
true.
champion you can dodge out of it, but
Yeah.
minions just get like fisted by that.
Yeah, true.
Sort of thing. Late game or even at rank 5, so level 9, it would be doing 500 damage. Like that just definitely wave clears.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
So you have to throw it on like enemies and then have it like explode to wave clear, which I think is like a cool mechanic because enemies can't really stand in their wave or else like it pushes really hard.
Mm-hmm.
But I like her Q a lot. I think it doesn't really fit her stealth like part, but she can't just be only a stealth character.
Yeah, I think it follows up on her ulti and E combo really well though. So it definitely has a place.
Do we want to talk about her passive, like the actual like disguise mechanic? Because I don't think it is great. I don't think it's great, but I've seen good Nico players use it well.
Yeah, I think it's kind of core to her kit. But I don't know. I think it's really strong in uncoordinated environments and probably not very strong otherwise. I don't know. I would be fine if it were something else, but I'd also be fine if it kind of stayed the same.
Yeah. It just feels like it feels gimmicky a lot of the time, I guess.
Yeah, I would agree.
And then her actual W where like she goes invisible. I think that ability is so fucking strong.
It is very strong. Absolutely.
Like the fact that her so I think it's strong in the fact that it really just like makes you have to 50-50 which one it is, like a lot of the time, which 50-50s don't feel that good, I think, most of the time. That being said, the fact that you can shoot your clone to eat a projectile is insane to me.
Yeah, that's super good. I
think it should dissipate, honestly.
You think so?
I think so, man. I think it's crazy that you can like block hooks with it.
I think it allows for like okay, so we've seen in the past champions get absolutely gutted because that's an option that they have. I mean, Malzahar, Zyra, right?
Yeah.
But I don't hate that it exists, you know?
I don't either. It's just it is very frustrating to play against when you're playing like a skill character like that. Say you're playing Blitzcrank, and if you ever go to throw a hook on this character, who first of all is like pretty mobile and pretty like quick.
Yeah.
She can just go invisible, and even if she like goes invisible, she can throw something to block it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like an escape, an engage, and a projectile immunity, sort of all in one. Obviously, it requires a lot of skill to accomplish, like in a decent time frame. But
it's just a very strong ability. I think it's fine because I do think the rest of her kit is very like low power budget, I guess.
Yeah.
Her E is high power budget when you actually put it through stuff. The fact that it's crazy. Nico's E is the same as Morgana Q when you hit it through something now. Like
yes,
that's crazy.
As an AOE.
Like, it's an AOE. But it does have like a caveat on it. So I feel like caveat to it. Like you have to hit it through a minion first in order for it to be this super super strong stun, which is cool.
Yeah, no, I think so too. I think it allows for good enough counterplay, which is really all that truly matters. And I think I love the combo with her ulti.
Yeah.
Which I guess we can talk about. Pop Blossom I think is like super super fair, and one of the most interesting spells in the game for sure.
Literally, the only thing I don't think is fair about it is that on ARM you can channel it well in Snowball.
Yeah,
but
that's the only. Yeah.
But that's like a whole nother story. I don't think like a Nico should be nerfed because her ARM ability is too strong.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think it's super balanced in Summoner's Rift. The shield feels balanced whenever she uses it. The amount of damage feels really pretty balanced. Like it's a lot of damage, but she also has to charge it up and be like melee range as I would say a pretty like range safe character.
Yeah, it's very telegraphed. She's not tanky enough to not die if people focus her. You can just walk out of it basically. If you see it, I think it's fine.
I do love that it's a the wind up of it's disguised when she's like in her clone thing. I think that's so cool.
I think so as well. I think that's really awesome.
It's just a really well put together like character overall. I think she's cool. I think the attack speed on her E is the only weird part, I guess.
Yeah.
Or W, sorry.
Yeah.
Or it's her E.
It's her W. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. That is Nico though. I do think she's a character that I don't think she ever needs to be reworked. I guess that's just with new characters. New characters probably are fine for the most part, as we're kind of seeing. But I'm glad we're like looking at her.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
Next is Nidalee.
Nidalee. Is it weird to say that I think Nidalee's fine too?
I don't think she is though.
No.
I mean, so let's just go through abilities that you can't change. You can't change Nidalee's Q ever, right?
I think both forms of it. Yeah, you can't change.
I guess yeah. Her Q, I think there's a world in which you could change her
Tiger Q.
Tiger Q. Just
or
because
Cat Q.
Yeah, I think any version of like single target damage ability would be fine. It doesn't need to be like a fucking. Is it an execute? I actually don't even know.
Yes, it is an execute. Does extra
I don't
damage.
think it needs to be an execute, for example. I think it could be like anything. It could be like a shorter cooldown like thing. I would love to even see like her tiger form be, or like her cat form be like all super low cooldown abilities. I think that would be like a cool way of doing it. Make her human form like super long, not super long, but like longer cooldown abilities, and then have her tiger form be like, fuck, I'm gonna say tiger every single time, man.
Yeah, sorry.
Her cat form be like quick abilities.
Yeah.
I just like, but I do think she already has like two distinct playstyles, but it's very much a character where you hit a Q, then turn into cat form.
Yeah.
I guess that's really all you do. You don't just ever go in cat form for fun, I don't think.
Yeah. I mean, your cat form is excellent at like chasing fights and ending fights, and that's about it. Yeah.
I guess she's a character that's like, out of all the transform characters, her and Elise are probably the two that are you go between the most often, I guess, which is good probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess you do most of your clearing in the jungle as cat form, but then you're never really just in cat form for longer than you want to be in fights, I think.
Yeah, but I think I'm kind of fine with that, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it's fine. Like I just wish they were like a little bit more distinct in playstyles.
Yeah.
Like you had options like I'm gonna start cat form here, and then I'm gonna end it by like hitting a spear or something like that. But
yeah, that would be
nice. You never end with spear unless like you've thrown a spear, turned into cat form, turned out a cat form, then we're gonna throw another one.
Yeah. It's never you're never casting it for the first time last.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there's a good way to change that. That seems tough.
No, not really. Unless once again like there was a way to. Like you added like I'm just like spitballing here, but you add like a bleed mechanic, like her cat form has bleed type things where maybe you like make them bleed and you can track them or something when they're like bleeding, they're like visible, so you could more easily hit a spear on people like
that'd be cool
because they're bleeding.
That'd be cool, yeah. She marks targets currently.
It's with what though? Is it only with her trap or is it also in cat form?
It's with trap and with human Q. So yeah, maybe if we put it on like maybe swipe, maybe her E.
Yeah, like I think it'd just be cool if like. So the whole point is you hit a Q and then you like see them and you can pounce, and they have the pounce mechanic, like what it triples the range or doubles the range of it when you hit a Q. I would love it if like you were able to keep it marked like more often, so that hitting like a final spear would be a cool way to end fights.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
But I think overall, like she's like pretty balanced in both forms, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think she is a character that when she's ahead, she feels really strong, but she's done a lot of work to get there, and she can be punished pretty easily early. So I'm fine with that.
Maybe I'm missing something, but what does Nidalee gain when she levels aspect of the cougar?
I think damage. I think damage on her cat form abilities.
Okay, all of her cat form abilities scale with that.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, and then all of her human form abilities are just based on the rank of the ability.
I think so. I think that's the case.
Do we like that? Do we like that that leveling up Q doesn't increase cat form Q damage?
I think so, because I think cat form is so strong that you almost have to gate it behind that.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd probably start seeing like more Nidalees going W max, which is super weird. Yeah, imagine how bad that would feel as a Nidalee player that you want to max W, which is your trap, because you want to be able to pounce more often.
Yeah. That would feel
I think
pretty
it's fine.
bad. Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah, I guess I just didn't know that they were ever gated behind cat form, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool.
Dope.
Yeah, I think she's. I think she functions like, once again, like most newer characters, we will see like not any changes, but I do think there are older characters like that are just well put together comparatively to like some other ones.
We've seen a tiny bit of like modernization of Nidalee with the Q reset, ult cooldown. But I think for the most part, she's a very well designed champion.
If we did this show like 5 years ago, where she literally was just a Q bot, you just only throw Qs on her. Mm-hmm. Like her old cat form kind of sucked, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. Did not seem very good.
Because like old cat form really did nothing, and then they did the rework like season 2 or something like that, where cat form kind of made her tanky.
Yeah.
And then they did the most recent rework, which is still like 6 years ago. Probably.
Yeah, it's been a while. Mm-hmm.
Where like they made cat form like a very cool form. So
yeah,
I think they did a good job with it overall.
I think so too. She's in a really good spot. She's still seeing competitive play. She's still seeing solo queue play, but not at an overpowered like state. So I think
only
she's
overpowered when Nidalee one tricks player.
Yeah. When she gets to free farm for the entire game.
Yeah. Next is Nocturne.
Okay. So I'm going to say this real quick because I know that I'm in the minority. I actually think that Nocturne is fine.
That's crazy.
I mean, I think he could see again some modernization, but I think the character is strong. I don't think he's weak by any means. But I am willing to concede that he could definitely use some touch-ups.
Yeah, I think he's just, once again, is of this, I'm a melee character, was an assassin. I don't even know if I would call him an assassin anymore. But he doesn't have those same powers that new assassin type characters have. Yeah.
I think a lot of that has to do with his ultimate having almost his entire like kit's power balance like there, basically. Power budget, I think is what we call it.
Yeah.
Because it's fucking strong.
It's a very good ability, yeah.
So what would we change about him then? Where are some areas that we can highlight?
So I think his passive is fine. It could be, once again, it's one of those passives that could be modernized and just thrown on another ability. The AoE like healing type thing every once in a while. Mm-hmm. I don't think it needs to be thrown on another ability, but they could do that, and I could see them doing that. Just because, I mean, it's the type of ability that would be a passive on another ability if he was released today.
Yeah.
That being said, I don't know if I have anything that currently goes as passive. Maybe as we're talking, we'll figure out a passive. But I think one thing that needs to be nerfed on him, and I know he is like a weaker character overall than like a strong character, is I think he has way too much early game power on his trail from his Q.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He has a lot of, like, maybe too much dueling power on it early game. Because it gives movement speed, attack damage, and it does a decent amount of damage when you actually like hit someone with it.
Yeah, and because you're maxing it first, it is a lot of damage.
Yeah, I think it's like 250. It has like 80% scaling or something like that, and it gives you, I think, like 30% movement speed, and then it gives you a ton of AD, like 50 AD, while you're standing on it, like maxed. So
yeah.
I do think it's one of the coolest mechanics in the game right now, though. Like the fact that people like when you shoot on them, they like trail it, so he just gets to follow them on this trail. I like that.
Yeah, it's like you can't really escape from this nightmare character.
Yeah, it's fucking really, really cool.
Yeah. Okay. So his Q is really strong. What would we change about that though?
I just think it needs to probably give him like even if it's scaled up, like the longer he was on his trail, like the stronger it was, like maybe scaling up to where it is. But I do think it's crazy that he can just throw Q and he can just outduel people. Like, yeah. The idea is that you obviously move off of it, but if he hits you with it, you can't move off of it.
Yeah.
So it's one of those gameplay patterns that very similar to Alawi-esque, where if he hits you with this ability, you just have to not play for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would love some sort of way to like either break it or some sort of way of like he has to like scale up to being strong on it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, maybe it's based on the distance traveled. So
that'd be cool too, yeah.
If you travel like the entire distance of it, you I don't know, you become a little bit stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Because
move on to his. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying, moving on to his W a little bit. What do you think about this ability? I think it's overall a weak ability. It does give a shitload of attack speed when you proc an ability, like when you spell shield an ability on it.
It's like 40% base, right?
I think it's 30 and it scales up to 50 from what because I looked it up a couple of days ago when I was playing Tom Kenshin to it.
Gotcha.
But it's a 1.5 second spell shield. You can wait this most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I there's very few characters that you can like not just go, oh, he used it, I'm gonna wait like for him to auto me like once or twice and then I'll use my ability.
Yeah.
Like what's Sivers? Is Sivers 2? I think Sivers might be 2 seconds, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would imagine that a lot of spell shields are probably standardized, like the duration, but I'm not 100% on that. So
no, Sivers also 1.5. I always felt like Sivers is longer. It's interesting because I always feel like I can just wait out Nocturnes whenever I play versus him, but I feel like Sivers, maybe it's just because she's an 80 carry, so it feels like you have like a less of a time, I guess, crunch to, or less of a time opening, I guess, to like go on her.
Yeah, that makes
for Nocturne,
sense.
It feels like you can always like just wait this out and then not give him this huge burst of power.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I would love to see that like I don't know if you'd want to make spell shield longer, but maybe like have it like even be like a lower cooldown would probably be fine, honestly.
Yeah. Maybe a lower cooldown and less substantial steroid on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because otherwise I'm not really sure like how else you would change that.
It is pretty binary of an ability though. It's like very, very basic.
Yeah, but I think it adds a lot to his current like heat-seeking missile play style, where he doesn't get blown up actually instantly when he goes in.
Yeah, do you think you'd ever change this to an actual shield?
If we were gonna change it to an actual shield, it'd probably be something, unfortunately, similar to like Morgana's, where as long as his shield persists, he's like immune to CC or something.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's interesting.
Probably, yeah.
I would love to have some sort of mechanic. I think it's way too complex for the game, where the target that you ult like can't use spells on you.
Ooh, I like that. I think that's really interesting.
I would love this idea that you just choose one target, it's kind of like pseudo old Poppy.
Yeah.
You choose one target and they just are less effective versus you. Like while you're on your trail, while targeting them for like however long, you're like way amped. They can't CC you or whatever for like not just the spell shield duration or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It might be too toxic for the game, and I do think it's very unclear only having like one character who can't like do CC and stuff like that to you.
Yeah.
But I think it's cool. I like this idea that he's just kind of this. He will kill this target no matter what. He's going through everyone to do it.
Yeah, I like that too. But yeah, it may be too old Poppy-esque, and that was extremely unhealthy for the game.
He's one of the most unhealthy things in the game, I would say.
So, I think we got to keep it the way it is.
Yeah, I think it's fine though. I think the most fun thing is going to be to talk about his ult, but we'll just quickly go through his E. His E being a tether. It's a very, very short tether, but if you do proc it, you get more movement speed because Nocturne gets movement speed on everything apparently. It does magic damage for some reason with a 100% AP ratio.
That's
and
wild.
The fear actually scales pretty well though. It scales to 2.25 seconds or 2.25 seconds.
So I think this is where I would like to see some changes. Because I think his E could be tagged onto his ultimate. And then sort of he could gain another ability here, but I'm not sure what that would be. So I'm imagining like he also target, maybe he maybe tethers onto every target in the area. And then if they don't get out of the tether, they're feared. Something like that. So very similar to like a Morgana ulti, basically.
What do you think about giving him nearsighted on something like this?
Okay, yeah. Do you think like inflicting nearsight that like gets close, like the vision circle gets smaller and smaller until you get feared?
Ooh, that's kind of cool. So it's like not. It'd have to be like a way shorter fear, but I do like the idea that like it like closes on you, then you kind of like just are feared for like, even if it's like 0.75 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, cool. it's this like sense of impending doom, you know, which
yeah.
I feel like the character is sort of built around. So
yeah, I just feel like nearsighted could be like a mechanic that's used a lot in this kit. Like, once again, just quickly going back to his spell shield. Like, I don't think this is the right way of doing it, because I want to talk about nearsighted on his ultimate a little bit after this. But I think you could have a spell shield type thing where when you use a spell shield, it's not actually a spell shield. It's just to say it's a shield, right? If you hit him during this shield, that's like lasts like 1 second or whatever, you're nearsighted.
Ooh, okay.
Like, that's cool. I like the idea that you dive in, you put on this shield, and anyone who hits you in that 1 second window is like nearsighted.
I like that.
Like, that's a cool, like, I think nearsighted is a mechanic that is very frustrating every single way it's currently used in the game. Like Quinn just throwing a bird at you, Graves just fucking shooting range projectiles at you. But something like this where he puts on this thing and then you know just not to hit him, is cool.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I'm down. That sounds dope. That sounds dope. So then what would we change
a little bit?
Yeah. Man, I don't know. Cuz I feel like his ultimate is the most like defining characteristic of Nocturne. So it would be hard to change away from that.
Thoughts on making it global at all? It can't be at all ranks though. Fuck. There's no way you can just make... Yeah, so you can't do that.
Can you not?
No, because the problem is, like, level 1, you hit 6, you back, buy an item, and then just ult someone from base.
I guess I meant at, like, max rank.
At max rank, I think you could. I think it could be global max rank. I think I'd be absolutely fine.
Yeah.
I also do like the idea. I think you should be able to... This would be cool. You could make it global on, like, towers at all rank. Like, you could ult your own towers at all ranks, I think. Like, what if you didn't have to ult an enemy? Like, you just could create the shroud and it was like a teleport. It would probably make him just a top laner, to be honest. And they would just use it as, like, a pseudo TP. But I kind of like it, where you ult. Everyone still groups together, but you just fucking TP and you're somewhere else on the map.
I don't hate that. I think it's really, really fucking strong, but I don't hate it.
I mean, I think it also removes... So it doesn't remove power, because it gives you more options. But it's not like it's just a one-hit damage ability at this point, right? It adds nuance to it.
Excuse me.
I also think you could do stuff like... you're going to have nearsighted, but, like... You don't currently have your ally sight, right?
What do you mean?
Like... If you're nearsighted and you're near an ally, you don't also see their range, like you normally do, right? It's nearsighted, like, individually to you, I believe.
Yes. Yeah, it blocks that.
I would love it if there was more nearsight, but, like, you still had your allies' range if they were in range of you.
Oh, I like that.
So, like, it really does incentivize, like, grouping.
Yeah.
Like, right now it's 320 range, I'm looking at the thing. Which is it's pretty big compared to other near sights. Quinn's near sight feels fucking tiny from what I remember.
Yeah, it feels very small for sure.
So I would love to see like a more narrow near sight like that. But if you are with your allies, like it's larger, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. And it definitely rewards you for like sort of the same thing that Nocturne currently has. Where like, okay, Nocturne's ulting, we want to stay together.
Yeah, I mean, that is the way it should be played, I think, like, as a mechanic.
Yeah, and I think that's a very good, like, character design for Nocturne. Like, he's going to prey on someone who...
is like, weak on their own, yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to be alone, because he's gonna pick you off and kill you.
Yeah. Small little, like, thing that probably just should be adjusted. You shouldn't be able to see his Q on the ground during his ult.
Or during fog. Like,
or anywhere in fog.
Yeah.
Like, that just is something that just should be changed.
Yeah,
that's
for
what
sure.
that's what I do. Like when Nocturne ult, I just span I use my mini map to like drag across the map until I see his like Q at somewhere and I know where it is.
I would like to make the change that you're able to teleport to towers during the Nocturne ulti, because it's really, really frustrating that that's not how it works.
Yeah, you lose tower vision, which is super weird.
Yeah, you lose vision of the tower despite not needing the tower to I don't know how I'm describing it, but it feels very strange.
Yeah, it's interesting because I do think that maybe when they designed that, they probably thought, hey, this is really cool because Nocturnes can get in a fight and they go, oh, I'm going to ult so like people can't come into the fight, right? Like you can't TP and you can't do whatever.
Oh, for sure.
But it just comes more out as frustrating, and I don't think very many Nocturne players look at it like that. They just use their ult as I'm going to kill someone, not I'm going to deny vision. Yeah,
for sure. That's how it functions currently, so.
Yeah, you should still be able to, like, you shouldn't be able to see your tower's vision, but you should be able to TP to them, for sure.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm saying. I don't want them to change anything like that. But yeah, you should just be able to teleport through the ulti. I think it's kind of dumb and odd that you can't.
Do you think they should make his ult longer or shorter or anything? I feel like it's a pretty good time, 6 seconds right now. I think it could scale up longer. It could be 5, 6, 7 to be honest, but
yeah, 5, 6, 7 maybe. Yeah, but I think for the most part it's fine.
Because I mean, if we didn't obviously go through with the fact that he could ult to his own tower or whatever, I really do like top Nocturne plays where you ult TP somewhere then ult in.
That'd be sick. That'd be sick.
It's a really cool play that Nocturne do.
Yeah, you can do that, but it's very difficult to pull it off like completely successfully.
Yeah, I mean, what teleports 3 seconds?
I think
it's 4.
I think it's 5.
Is it 5? Let's see. Teleport is 4 seconds.
4. Okay.
So yeah, so you have a 2-second window to cast ult, teleport, ult second charge.
Yeah.
It's really, really strong though. Like top Nocturnes do use that. I just would love to see that like be a bigger window for them.
Mm-hmm. No, that'd be really cool. Sweet.
Yeah, I think that should cover Nocturne. So we're just on to Nunu Willump as our last character.
Nunu and Willump. What do we do to fix this mess? Because they've already reworked him. Do you think they're also
like broken?
I do. I think Nunu Willump is too strong for the power that he brings.
Mm-hmm.
It's such low commitment to run around to try to get ganks to do all that stuff that I think it's he just brings too much power for the simplicity and the speed at which he can do those things.
Turns out mobility characters are very strong in the jungle.
Yeah. I mean, he clears single target camps almost instantly. He has like the fastest movement speed of any like jungler in the game, at least. So it's just really hard to do anything about that, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't know. Would you
I
change
mean,
anything?
I'm not a fan of the character personally.
Yeah.
I think his munch is fine. I don't think that's ever been like a bad mechanic. I think them making it so it works on enemies was fine. I think they did it in a very good way.
Yeah, I think so too. It feels pretty fair.
Yeah, his W, I love how it controls and stuff, but I do think it is a little bit toxic for the game. I think he has a little bit too much control on it when it's huge.
Yeah,
I think he could have more control on it early when it's small. Like you could do like little tiny little tiny circles, but when it's huge, you shouldn't be able to fucking curve around walls.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know, man.
I think his passive's boring as fuck.
Yeah, his passive's really boring, but it helps his jungle clear, and it's a remnant of Blood Boil.
Yeah.
And how that used to function.
I forgot Blood Boil. Holy shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Man.
His E is boring as fuck as well, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, his E is pretty boring. I don't know. So what would you do? What would you change?
So I don't have any ideas for him is like the problem.
Yeah.
I know that I don't like his E at all, and I know I don't like his passive at all is like the main thing. There's no way you ever change his ultimate ever.
No, I think Absolute Zero is one of the more iconic like season 1 ults in the game.
Yeah, and I'm glad they made it so as a shield, because the old way of using Absolute Zero was you just try to hide in a bush and hope that you just got it off, because if not, you'd die.
Also because if not, it was a worthless ability.
Yeah, it scaled like very strangely before. Before I felt like it scaled exponentially in time, but now it scales like pretty linearly. So like, even if you get it canceled, it doesn't feel like worthless. I guess.
Yeah.
So I think that what they did to that ability is great. So it's more just finding abilities that we can replace either with his passive or his E, or keeping his passive because it is kind of Blood Boil-esque, and then changing his E because it's still boring as can be.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think he needs hard CC on his E. He's like a fucking snow slowy character. It could even be like, I guess it could even be just like a hard slow. But
yeah, so I guess that's just his current E, right?
Yeah. I wish I had an idea. I don't play enough. Colton would be good on this one, I think, right here. Because I'm sure he knows what he would want from the character.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I don't know. It's hard. Maybe the snowball is good, you know? Maybe I feel like Nunu would be a very good character to have slow immunity on.
Yeah.
I think that would be super fine on this champion.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it could be part of his passive, like without a doubt. I think, like.
Yeah. So I was thinking like of the volley bear. The old like
what they were gonna do with them.
Yeah. Exactly. That idea that they had, I think, would be really, really good.
The idea being that hard CC was going to be converted to slows on Volibear.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess like the only thing I can think of just off the top of my head, because I didn't prepare for Nunu by any means, is I would like to see. So he throws snowballs here because it's like fucking Nunu. Like it's Nunu. Willump's the big fucking dude, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what if like the snowballs were like, let's just say you could store 3 of them, right? They charge up like pretty quickly. But they were things that you could charge kind of like mini Varus Qs.
Ooh, I like that.
And they slow like different amounts. Like you have like you could just click it and it's like a really light slow. But if you like hit all 3 of it, it's like a kind of like a heavy slow.
Yeah.
Or you can like throw big ones, like you can charge them up sort of thing for like let's just say like 2 seconds sort of thing. And they like slow a lot more and do a little more damage.
I like that.
Like, I feel like that would be, like, kind of fun, though. Like, you're running around them, you're throwing these snowballs while, like, managing everything else.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
It adds a little bit more complexity to it.
I was going to say, the champion then isn't, like, the simplest thing in the world, which feels good.
Yeah, like, they wouldn't have, like, crazy... They'd have maybe, like, a little range if, like, you threw it longer, but, like, it's more just for, like, an extra, like, stronger slow, I think. Because the character doesn't need to be a high-damage character. He just needs to be a CC character.
Yeah, he just needs to have a bit of CC, like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's like... is there anything else you would want to add to Nunu? Because I'm really blanking on him, I guess, compared to like other characters.
Yeah, no, he... It's not that he's a bland character. I feel like he just doesn't have a lot to to go off of almost.
I mean, I think they did like everything right, because I think characters that have been like reworked already from a past iteration, they took the best parts of that character and threw out the shitty ones already. Because if we're going to rework old Nunu, yeah, no shit, we get rid of Blood Boil.
Yeah, 100%. You know what I mean? 100%.
No shit, we get rid of his point and click Snowball, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's hard with the characters that have already been reworked that are old, but
yeah, I think so too.
Good. Well, anyways, I think that about wraps up the show for us, Nick. Yeah, we got through all of the end characters. Next month, we're going to be going through a couple different like letters, because it turns out there's not very many O, P, or Q characters. So we're going to be going through all of O, P, and Q, which is Olaf, Oriana, Ornn, Pantheon, Poppy, Pike, Kiana, and Quinn. What's the one you're looking most forward to for this next set?
I think Quinn. I think that character has a lot of potential for improvement. And her current role of I'm gonna bully top lane and that's sort of it, is frustrating and doesn't lend itself very well to a balanced character.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be fun.
Yeah, I think Quinn's probably like my pick as well. I think a couple of them are like pretty well designed, but they are like some newer characters. Like Kiana Pike, I think, are fucking great characters.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think there's a thing I would change about Kiana, for instance.
Yeah, I mean, Pike, we can obviously talk about Grey Health when we get to it, but
yeah.
Outside of that, I think he's a very well designed character. So
I agree. Yep.
Cool. Well, that is the end of this episode. Be sure to check out our Patreon. We're either listening to this now, or if you're a free listener and listening to it a month later on YouTube, our new episode's already posted there, so go check it out. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.